Donald Trump leaving the G7 early and returning to Washington, where he's requesting the National Security Council be prepared in the Situation Room after a deadly weekend in the Middle East. In Israel, 24 fatalities, 600 wounded.
I have to be back. Very important. I want to just thank our great host. He did a fantastic job. Thank you. In Canada. But you probably see what I see. And I have to be back as soon as I can. We're going to have dinner with these wonderful leaders. And then I get on the plane. I have to be back early for obvious reasons. I loved it. I tell you, I loved it. And I think we got a lot done. Really a lot done. In fact, UK, we signed a big trade deal today, and we're working on others. But we had just a really great relationship with everybody, and it's really nice. I wish I could stay for tomorrow, but they understand. This is big. This is big stuff.
A little change to the president's schedule. As you know, he's been at the G7, but Caroline Leavitt tweeting out a little bit of a change. She says this: President Trump had a great day at the G7, even signing a major trade deal with the United Kingdom and President Keir Starmer. Much was accomplished. Here is the important part here. But because of what is going on in the Middle East, President Trump will be leaving tonight after dinner with heads of state. This comes just about an hour after he encouraged an evacuation out of Tehran. We'll keep you up to date with the latest.
As President Trump has posted this ominous message to Truth Social that concludes with the statement that everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. This, as U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says, additional resources are being moved into the CENTCOM area of responsibility. Our Pentagon team reports that those additional resources are coming in the form of refueling tankers, which are being moved to Europe so they can aid in the efforts here in the Middle East. Also, we've earlier confirmed that the USS Nimitz carrier strike group is being moved to the Middle East earlier than expected. The USS Nimitz is the oldest aircraft carrier in the U.S. fleet, and quite possibly this will be its last deployment or major deployment. Meantime, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel reports, or boasts, I should say, that his fighters enjoy air superiority in the skies over Tehran.
אז זה הדיווחים האמריקאים שיש עכשיו. טראמפ צפוי לחתום ממש בקרוב על צו נשיאותי להצטרפות של ארצות הברית למלחמה. יש גם דיווחים שארצות הברית בעצמה כבר תוקפת בטהרן. ראינו את הציוד שהוא פרסם ממש עכשיו. איראן הייתה צריכה לחתום על העסקה שאמרתי להם איזה חבל ובזבוז של חיי אדם. ושים לב עודד, גם הבית הלבן וגם החשבון של דונלד טראמפ סימנו, מרקרו את המשפט שכולם צריכים להתפנות מטהרן מיד. יש ככל הנראה עכשיו התפתחות מאוד מאוד משמעותית בשעות הקרובות, שהאמריקאים, אנחנו רואים אותם כבר מזיזים כוחות לכיוון המזרח התיכון, מזיזים נוסעות מטוסים ומטוסים באופן כללי לכיוון המזרח התיכון, באמת בשביל לתגבר את הכוחות ולהיכנס למלחמה באופן מאוד מאוד רשמי. זה הכל דיווחים מאוד מאוד ראשוניים, אני מקווה לעדכן בשעות הקרובות חדשות נוספות.
אז ליבי, גם את לא הולכת לישון היום.
אני לא הולכת לישון אף פעם.
עד כדי כך? וואו. אז את באמת גיבורה. אז ליבי, אנחנו צריכים לדעת את כל הדברים מדויק. לא, אני לא רוצה ב-98%. רוצים ב-100% לדעת, לבשר לצופים שארצות הברית כבר תוקפת בטהרן יחד איתנו, והיא כבר יד ביד עם ישראל, לא רק בדיבורים, אלא גם במעשים, לא רק בעזרה בנשק, אלא ממש בלחימה ממש, כמו שאומרים. תודה רבה ליבי שהיית איתנו, ואנחנו נחזור אלייך בהמשך. מה אליהו? תודה.
Exclusive satellite images revealing the location of a previously unknown Iranian nuclear site. Now, the facility spans nearly 2,500 acres, and this is a big discovery. Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Good morning, Jillian.
Pretty explosive, Dana. These satellite images that we have obtained exclusively show the alleged site location and even the layout of the secret, previously unknown nuclear weapons facilities inside Iran. This, of course, raises fresh concerns about the regime's role in these ongoing nuclear talks with the Trump administration. The National Council of Resistance of Iran has collected intelligence from sources on the ground inside Iran that locate this nuclear weapons facility in what is called Semnan province, far from the regime's already known nuclear sites. It's codenamed the Rainbow Site by Iran's officials, and it spans nearly 2,500 acres. It's been operating as far as we can discern.
He added in all caps in his Truth Social post, quote, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, emphasizing a red line he has issued again and again and again. Now, this comes as Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirms that defensive capabilities have been moved to the Middle East. We learned from Reuters earlier in the day that was to give the United States, quote, options. And there's dramatic new footage of the conflict that continues to pour in like this moment. Watch this.
You're going to be in the Situation Room pretty soon with the president. Is he still aiming for a nuclear deal with the Iranians?
Of course. The president's, as he said today, his position has not changed. What you're watching in real time is peace through strength and America first. Our job is to be strong. We are postured defensively in the region to be strong in pursuit of a peace deal. And we certainly hope that's what happens here. And America first means we're going to defend American personnel and American interests. So when you see jets and you see air defense assets and counter UAS assets, that's because my job as the Secretary of Defense is to ensure that our people are safe and that we're strong. So that we can set the conditions for a deal. And President Trump's made it clear it's on the table. The question is whether Iran will take it.
All right. So the deal is still on the table, but all options are on the table from what it sounds like. What does that look like?
What it looks like right now is we're vigilant. We're prepared. And we've messaged consistently from the beginning that we're in the region to defend our people and our assets. And Israel took an action out of self-defense. We believe that Iran, as President has said from the beginning, should not have a nuclear weapon. That position hasn't changed. They can give it up peacefully. That position hasn't changed. And as a result, right now, we've got assets in the region and we're going to defend them. And we're going to be strong in the process. So people are reading into a lot of aspects right now. We're strong. We're prepared. We're defensive. And President Trump hopes there can be peace.
U.S. Secretary of State Blinken being in Southeast Asia this week, and actually this year is the 70th anniversary of Eisenhower signing the U.S.-Japan agreement, giving you Okinawa, and the U.S. is involved in Venezuela, Africa, Niger, and Mali, apparently, against Russia, against China, against Iran. How prepared is the United States for war?
Well, I would say at this point, not terribly well prepared. We're stretched very, very thin around the world. Our armed forces are perhaps smaller than they have been in decades. Although having said that, we have more general officers and admirals than we've ever had in our entire history, which tells you something about the mental state or condition of the armed forces. Too many chiefs, very few Indians. I don't think we're ready to fight anybody at this point who is really capable. And by that, I mean, we have focused over the last 30 years, certainly since 1991, on fighting opponents without armies, air forces, or navies, certainly no air defenses. Now we confront the very real possibility, not only with Iran and other states in the Middle East, and I would also add potentially Turkey at some point. You've got Russia and China interested in what's happening. They're not going to sit quietly on the sidelines if we truly succeed in bringing on a very large-scale regional war. And it certainly looks as though that's our goal.